just recorded. When you create any calculated column, it performs iterative operation. Row by row, it iterates. The classic example is I want to take a product of quantity by price. What happens is, in the case, it goes to each and every row, it picks up quantity and price and takes the product of that. And then the output of that will get stored in a new column called sales amount. Row by row operation performed. That is called your row context. In the case of calculate row context, is it possible to perform row context in measure? What is the difference between measure and calculated column? Calculated column, once you create in addition to the existing column, if you want any additional new column, for example, you want to create a derived column, not all the situations, we can rely on the existing column. That is not sufficient to create our report. Okay, for example, you want to see the gross sales or net sales. You need to use some business rule or business logic to create a new column based on the existing column. Okay, this classic example, quantity into price will give the sales amount. If you subtract the discount, please assume that way. Okay, if you subtract the discount, whatever you gave it to the customer, right, you will get the net sales. This is the formula you need to use it. Quantity into price, and whatever the value that you get it, you need to subtract the discount for that. Okay, you will to get the net sales. So this is a calculator. You need to create a new column to hold the net sales value for each row. In that case, calculated column, what it does is it goes and iteratively it evaluates that expression or the formula for each and every row. Whereas in the case of measure is meant for performing aggregation most of the cases. But can I use a measure to perform iterative operation, row by row operation? Can someone tell me, with measure, can I do the iterative operation? Yes, Raji, you are correct. And Pradeep, you are correct. And how about others? My question is, using measure, can I perform row by row operation? I said measure is in general meant for performing aggregation. For example, sum of sales amount. It performs the total on the sales amount column. Fine. Or if you want to perform an average, that is possible. Average, sum, or minimum, maximum, these are the aggregation function. In general, measure is, but is there any possibility that I can use an iterative function, or can I perform row by row operation using a measure? Yes, by using an iterative function, sumX. You can use a sumX function as part of your measure to perform row by row operation. Even in measure, you can perform row by row operation using iterating function like sumX, average X, count X, count AX, average AX, average A function. Okay. The next thing is filter context. What is filter context? Filter context filter the data, whereas it does not iterate. And and in the case of row context, it iterates the table, but it does not filter. But is it possible to have the coexistence of the row context with the filter context? That is also possible. Along with the row context, you can apply the filter context. We have explained you in the last session how to you do that. Okay, and next one is the filter function. The filter function, we discussed about calculate function. In the calculate function, we have discussed the syntax, and then we discussed what scenarios we can use calculate function. The calculate function is helpful to modify the filter context. There are some functions like all selected, and the all except remove filter. These are the filter modification functions. Okay, along with the calculate function, by using this filter modification function, you can override the already existing filter context. And we discussed about the processing order of that one. So today's session, we will continue with the calculate table.